It's one of those days where I haven't showered, but it's a fun day. So my daughter-in-law Rosie is living up here now, and she's been exploring the area with her plant identification app and her knowledge that she already has, and she's identifying all of the things that we can forage on our land. So I thought it'd be fun to take you guys with us with the goats for a little walk. They're happy here. Ooh, yummy. And we're gonna show you what we found so far.
This right here is a thimbleberry.
Yeah, the thimbleberries are so delicious too.
Yeah.
Thimbleberry. Oh yeah, so you saw?
can tell these are the black raspberries because they have small little leaves that are shaped like raspberry leaves, but they have straight sticking up branches that are pretty purple.
Yeah.
And black raspberries.
See that purple color?
It's really beautiful.
There's more there.
Over here.
Yeah, you can really see the purple next to
And
the
black
rock.
raspberries have been used a lot in traditional medicine for thousands of years because they're a very powerful antioxidant.
Cool. Oh, here's more of the oregano.
Oh yeah. Here's the oregano.
Lots of wild oregano, which we're actually gonna. She dug up some of this. We're gonna plant some of the wild oregano. We're gonna plant some of the berries because this is actually our neighbor's land right here. But he's pretty cool. They're pretty cool about us hanging out on their land too. So we're gonna move some of these plants over into our areas. The goats love it here. This is like the most kind of pasture they've ever been on. What do you goats think? This is amazing.
These right here, this little green right here. This is an oxeye daisy. It's actually a pretty noxious herb, just meaning that it's a weed. It grows around. But when it's this small, you can use the greens for salad in small amounts.
Oh, cool.
I need a salad.
And it tastes like really sweet. It has a very sweet
Let me taste.
taste.
You want to taste? Okay. Oh, yum. Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, and they grow it a lot in Italy. It's considered a delicacy in Sicily.
I'm sure a lot of you know this. It's called Picture This. And you just find your, let's see.
Eat it.
Find your plant. We're going to take a picture and it's going to tell us what it is and what it can be used for. Oh, the yellow violets, and they're so pretty.
And you can eat the flowers. Unlike regular violets, the leaves kind of don't taste very good. They taste kind of soapy. But the flowers are really delicious and are just a beautiful addition to like a cake or a salad, anything like that. And they have a more mild flavor than the purple violets.
All right, I have to show this because this is really funny. We're quite a ways from our part of the property. Our ducks followed us here, and there's a lovely little runoff area for them. Where did the goats all go? Goats have disappeared, but there's Bruce and the ducks. So beautiful here too. Zelda, you scared the ducks away. And I knew this from last year. We have a whole bunch of wild strawberries and thimbleberries. They're pretty prolific around here. So there's a little wild strawberry right there. And we have a ton of mullein that grows everywhere. I mean, most people have this, and just, you know, we used to call it, well, people call it lamb's ear. We used to call it toilet paper when we were little in the forest. But this is mullein, so you can harvest this and make a tincture out of the fresh, or dry it, use it in teas. Great for respiratory illnesses, asthma, and good for the animals too. So we'll be picking a bunch of mullein and doing some probably drying of the mullein leaves, as well as I think we should do some fresh tinctures with the mullein, don't you, Rosie? Yeah. Was that a lot of activity for you? You're a sleepy girl. So tired. Just sleep on a dirt mound.
Okay, I got a picture of it. So.
Cool. All right, goats. That was a nice walk, huh, goats?
It's got some good exercise.
Some good plants. That is white rattlesnake plantain. Not for humans, but for the deer.
White-tailed deer, and it actually has a really beautiful red flower that comes up towards the end of the summer, but it's really, I wouldn't recommend anyone picking it because the white-tailed deer basically live off of these things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if the moose eat it too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
We're heading down to our creek. This is on our land. Rosie found wild ginger down here. I actually want to try planting wasabi down here too, but it's gonna get really loud because this creek is rushing. So I may have to do voiceover on this after the fact. Just a little heads up if it gets a little weird with a voiceover here in a little bit when it's super duper loud. So we have
a wild ginger right here.
Wild ginger. It's British Columbia wild ginger. So Rosie's going to show us how she digs the root up.
So first you want to dig it up like that. Dig the top part out. Because the roots are only about an inch or two under the soil. You can see I'm parting them. These are the roots right here. And they stay they lay horizontally. They're actually not roots, they're called rhizomes when they're ginger. And you pull the rhizomes out. Oh, cute little worm. And you pull the little tiny ones, and there you have a ginger root. The wild ginger can be used for so many things. But
so there's the wild ginger. And it smells like ginger. Let me chip this up. It smells really good. It's not as strong as the ginger you're used to, but
you want to smell it?
We're gonna find some interesting things to do with this wild ginger. So Rosie found this, or Josiah, one of them found this nest, this robin's egg nest. The mama bird abandoned it, but you guys look at how beautiful this is. With these little teeny tiny blue robin's eggs. Magical. So, lots of strawberries here, wild strawberries on the hillside where our orchard's going to be. So this is where we're clearing for the orchard, and I am hoping to actually have some of these downslopes have strawberries with, as the underlayer, blueberries, some of those beautiful black raspberries we're going to plant in there. But again, this is a work in progress and we have not even begun to plant the orchard. Still clearing it and freeing it of garbage from the old shack that used to be here, and terracing it. So I'm hoping to plant in September the orchard up there. Thinking we'll be ready by then. But down here at the bottom of our land, we have more wild strawberries that Rosie found, a huge patch. So we wanted to show you that.
Down there.
Okay, you guys, all those little green plants that you see
with 3 leaves
are all under here. These are all wild strawberries. There's more down behind the shop too, Rosie. Wild strawberries everywhere. If we can get to them before the bear do, we'll be winners. Hi guys, it's the next day. That was really fun foraging. I'm excited to do more of that as the spring begins finally and things start to grow. So I'm making cheese today, and I'm gonna make cheddar for the first time. So I have 2 gallons of milk that I am putting in my big stainless steel pot, and I'm gonna heat it up to 90 degrees, and then I will show you the next step. So I'm just gonna kind of go through these steps fairly quickly with you. I don't wanna take you through this entire process because it's 6 hours long, but I will show you what I'm doing every step of the way. So I have my thermometer here on the side and my ladle, and I'm just going to stir this gently now and again as it heats up to 90 degrees. My milk is at 90 degrees. I have a mesophilic culture here from cheesemaking.com, and I'm going to be using half the amount called for in my recipe because I'm using raw milk. So it's about 1/16 of a teaspoon for this 2 gallons of milk, which is like next to nothing. So that's going to sit on top for about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna stir it in for about another 5 minutes. My culture has been sitting for about 5 minutes. I'm now just gently stirring this in. I will keep stirring this for about 2 to 5 minutes. It's the part where you can't really go anywhere because you just got a lot of standing and stirring. So I'm gonna do this for a little bit. This is the book I'm using, and I'm making the cheddar. After I'm done stirring in this culture, then I'm just gonna let it sit for 30 minutes and maintaining the temperature at 90 degrees during that whole time. My milk has been setting for 30 minutes with the culture in it. So I'm gonna add an 1/8 of a teaspoon, I think that's right, let me double check. 1/8 of a teaspoon of rennet, and I'm gonna put it in a 1/4 cup of cool water, and then I'm going to pour the rennet. These first steps are all basically the same as the other cheeses that I've made so far, but pouring the rennet over the ladle, and then gently in an up and down motion, mixing this in. Just mixing it like this for about a minute. I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna put my thermometer back in, hold the temperature at 90 degrees, and let it coagulate for about 45 minutes. I like to set the timer because I have a lot going on and a lot of children talking to me, and I can super easily lose track of time. So the timer helps me stay on track when I'm making cheese. My boys are fighting in the background, but it is time for me to cut the curd. So I'm going to go first this direction, and then I'm going to go this direction, and then I'm going to go horizontally. I'm just going to cut it into about 3/8, I don't know, 3/4.
Oh, you made that?
Right there. Okay, don't mind the sound of my meat here in the background. Dinner waits for no man. Nobody cares if you're making cheese, they still want dinner. This part's a little tricky because it does spin. Trying to get these curds equal size is a little bit tricky. So Luna, here, can you actually film my hands doing it? You might have to go up a little higher. All right, so we go this way. Ah, that was a little big. Trying to get these the same size, you guys, can be really tricky. You can see how it's spinning, which makes the cutting just a little bit challenging. All right, so now I'm gonna take my ladle and I'm going to go through like this and try to cut it at about the same size. Also extremely tricky. But again, I don't strive for perfection. I'm just literally doing my best here. Oh gosh, guys, I don't know if I'm doing a very good job here. I think my curds are going to be all different sizes. Like I said, that was not perfect, but now I'm just going to let it sit for 5 minutes. Just take that out for a second. I'm going to very gradually, over the course of the next 30 minutes, heat these curds up while stirring constantly to 102 degrees. So gently stirring, and because my curds aren't like perfectly sized, as I'm doing this, I'm going to also cut up the curds that I see that are way too big. So just using my ladle to cut some of those bigger curds, like that giant guy right there. And that's it. Just gonna slowly stir them. Some of my curds look way too small. Some of my curds look way too big. I'm definitely not a pro at this process, but practice makes perfect, right? So I've been standing here stirring the curds for about 30 minutes while the temperature gets up to 102. It is at 102 now, and I've got 45 minutes of stirring left. I was standing here stirring my curds in their way. Sorry, had to. In my messy kitchen with 17 minutes and 47 seconds left to continue to stir. But I was thinking about my grandpa. He passed away 6 years ago tomorrow. My dad's dad. Gosh, time flies. It seems like yesterday. I was pregnant with Kieran, but I was thinking of my grandpa because he loved everything food. Anything that had to do with homemade food or recreating recipes that he had in restaurants, or I think he kind of wanted to be a chef secretly, but I was just thinking how proud he would be that I am making cheese, and how I wish, if this cheddar turns out, that I could share some of this cheese with him. Sometimes those people you've lost just pop up in your memory. So hopefully he is somewhere watching, looking down, watching me stir these curds, and smiling a little bit. That he left that part of him, that just that love of food and of making food, and I know that he is smiling down as I'm learning to make cheese. The next step is to drain the whey into, I suppose you could do the sink if you didn't want to keep the whey, but I always keep my whey because I will make ricotta next. So I'm going to gently put these curds into my colander, which is in a really big bowl right now. Oops, my timer. Just so that they don't splash everywhere, and then I'll pour the whey in and drain this off. I drained my curds into this colander, and then I put them over this pot of hot water. And it's supposed to maintain the temperature of the curds. I was supposed to maintain the temperature of the curds at about 98 degrees for 15 minutes, and then flip it. My curds got a little hot. I hope it's okay. I hope it didn't ruin anything. So this process of kind of flipping curds, keeping them warm over hot water, and flipping curds in the colander, keeping them warm over hot water process happens for quite a long time. I just cut my curd blob, my little blob of curds here, into 2 slabs, and I guess I'm just supposed to flip them and stack them on top of each other, and then keep up with the temperature regulation. Oops. All right, and then cover it like that to keep it at the right temperature. It's getting late. Kids are in bed. So I'm still doing the cheddaring process. It's time to flip it again, where I am flipping these slabs over and switching their order. Oops. So, like that. So I need to do this until it resembles cooked chicken breast. I think we're getting close. Probably about another hour. Cutting this into 1/2 inch by about 1 inch long pieces. So. So now I'm taking the salted curds and I am pressing them in my cheese press. My cheese press has been lined with cheesecloth. I forgot to video that part where I put it in. this. Cover it. You can hear I'm watching Homestead Rescue while I do this because it's just one of those processes that's like so time consuming. My follower is in. I do not have a cheese press, so I'm doing a makeshift one for right now. All right, I'm making a cheese press with cutting boards and weights, which I'm just gonna put on there. This balance. This is totally makeshift, you guys, until I can get a cheese press. But you know what? It's gonna work. I added 10 more pounds to my press. Yes, it is a bizarre looking press, but you know what? It's gonna work for this time. Anyway, no, it's not. It just all came crashing down. Let's try that again. There you have it. 15 more minutes pressed with 20 pounds. Then I'm gonna add a little bit more weight. Increase it to 30 pounds, press for another 15 minutes, then increase it to 50 pounds. Okay, here's my press. I'm gonna take my follower out. Our situation with that press, that makeshift press, was not ideal. So, that being said, that our situation with that press kind of sucked. This cheese is going to be a little lopsided, which I can tell, and that's fine. But it looks pretty good. So here it is, my first wheel of cheddar. It's a little, you know, I don't know. It smells good, but it doesn't look perfect. That's okay. So I'm going to vacuum seal this, and it's going to age in the fridge, vacuum sealed, for, I don't know, 6 to 12 months or so. So on my vacuum seal bag, I am going to write the date, I'm going to write the type of cheese, and I'm going to put the culture that I used. And that's it. So let's get this vacuum sealed. What's interesting is that my Gouda recipe called for aging the rind. I could naturally age this rind, but I just don't want to do it. So I'm going to do it this easy way. There it is. So I'm also going to do this for my Gouda, because today is the day that I was supposed to take my Gouda out and seal up my Gouda. And these are going to age in my regular refrigerator because I don't have a dedicated refrigerator for cheese making yet. I do plan to get a refrigerator just for cheeses at some point, but that isn't going to happen for a little while. I will say I think my Gouda turned out prettier than my cheddar. Just got a really nice, smooth shape and texture. And there you have it. My first 2 wheels of cheese for what will eventually be my stockpile of cheese. I want to make a lot of cheese if I can. It's a couple days later, after my cheese making adventures. I've fully recovered. I can't stay up late like that. I just can't. I am a 9 o'clock bed girl. I'm not a midnight bed girl. And when I stay up till midnight, it literally takes me days to recover. So, feeling recovered today. I was going to take you up to the property and kind of show you our progress, but plans changed. So I'm gonna close this vlog out here because when Joe went to get the hay last night for our goats, it's really, really moldy. We only have a couple bales left and it just got so wet up there. We don't have a proper covering or barn for our hay yet, but we are building that this summer. But because of that, Joe had to go today to the farmer where we get our organic alfalfa from. And thankfully that farmer had some left for his own needs that he's going to sell a little bit to us to get us through until July when he does his first cutting. So that's that story. And Joe left me with a blank floor plan with the dimensions for our house. We are limited by the amount of ICF block that we have, and we're limited, and our plans had to change because of a big rock, which you can see. You can see the big rock right there, right? So we decided to do two things at once, and that is separate the bottom half of the house and have like a covered outdoor area where the rock is, actually a large covered outdoor area, because in the winter that'll allow our kids to have a place to play where there won't be any snow. It will also give us a space if we need to use it for animals in the winter, we can. So that's what you're looking at here. Our first story is essentially a garage, a large covered outdoor space, and a Joe's office and a guest suite. This is 2,400 square feet, and I'm gonna draw in what I want. I mean, we know in this middle area that we want glass doors out towards the view with a deck. So this is gonna be the main living, dining, kitchen. But then I've gotta deal with the master bedroom and the kids' bedroom. So that's what I'm gonna be doing right now while the baby sleeps. I don't know if you can see him. The baby is asleep on the couch back there. So while he sleeps, I'm gonna do this, drink my tea in peace and quiet, and edit this vlog and get it up to you guys tomorrow, which is Sunday. We always post our videos on Sundays, so be on the lookout every Sunday for new content from us. We really appreciate all your love and support. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel because we have the house build coming up and it's gonna be pretty fun to see what this turns into. Thanks for hanging out while we foraged in our forest. Made some cheddar cheese. It was a little painful, but got through it. We'll see you next week with lots of updates on our house build because it has gotten started, but we're gonna leave you hanging a little bit.